Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
It is a beautiful day here at Yankee Stadium, Heritage Field across the street, the site of the old ballpark, and it's a big sports day. Yankees in action, the Knicks and the Rangers. Yeah, so get ready as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Detroit Tigers in the middle game of a three-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball along with Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. Well, Justin Verlander started for the Tigers yesterday. He had two separate leads, and each time the Tigers could not hold on, so the Yankees won a convincing 7-6 victory. But in the ninth inning, it wasn't your typical run.
Well, you know, Derek Jeter does so many things on a baseball field, and he had earned a walk. Good base running here. He gets a good lead, he ends up at third base. Right here, he doesn't get a read on the ball, and you see the traffic cop. Alex Rodriguez waves him home. Game winner.
Big win for the Yankees to start off this three-game set, and this is what they've done in their last 6 games. They took both games in Boston. The final game was rained out, 1-2 in Texas, and they start up the Detroit series with a 1-0 mark. So let's take a look now at the New York Lottery pitching matchup. The rookie left-hander Drew Smyly, he's going to go for the Tigers. He's pitched well. Look at his ERA. Freddie Garcia has not pitched well, 0-1, 9.75. Paul Garcia has to step up at some point and straighten things out.
Yeah, these numbers don't lie. Freddie Garcia is a veteran pitcher, but if you'll see, he doesn't throw hard enough. That's up in the zone. He cannot pitch up in the zone. He's not the pitcher he used to be with that power sinker. When he gets the ball, he gets the ball up in the zone. This is what happened. It ends up over the fence. He dug a huge hole in Boston, and all of a sudden it's set up for a big comeback for the Yankees. But you're right, Michael. He needs to get things turned around quickly.
Got to get that splitter working and also get a little more velocity on his fastball. Alex Rodriguez didn't just wave Jeter home. He did a good job yesterday at the plate. Paul O'Neill will break it down when we get back right here on Yes. Alex Rodriguez got back on track. He had a really bad road trip where he was 3 for 20. Previous 4 games, he was 1 for 15. But last night, 3 for 4, home run, 2 ribbies, and 2 runs scored. Hi, everybody. That's Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. And as you can see, that's Alex Rodriguez's eye over the shoulder of Paul O'Neill. And why don't we take a close look with your eye at what Alex did yesterday?
Well, he did some good things, and it all started off with kind of a cheap hit in the first inning off Justin Verlander. He hit a ball right off the end of the bat. And to me, that just sets up for a good night. He became confident. Now, here's kind of a mistake, a fastball away. When Alex Rodriguez looks to right center field, he's unbelievably dangerous. How quick he is there. Every once in a while when he struggles, he gets long. He was quick to the baseball last night.
So a good night for him, and he's the guy who waved home Derek Jeter on the pass ball that gave the Yankees the victory. Second game of this 3-game set. When we come back, lineups First Pitch Baseball next on Yes. Yes is brought to you in part by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. By the Daily News, pick up the Sunday paper and play baseball bingo with a chance to pitch from the mound at Yankee Stadium for $1 million. And by the professionals at your Tri-State GMC dealer. Why just go when you can go pro? That's where you used to roam, Paul. Heritage Field is the old Yankee Stadium. It's a beautiful, beautiful park built right across the street from the new ballpark. And in the new ballpark, going to be the Yankees against the Tigers here in the middle game of a 3-game set. Yankees have taken the field. Freddie Garcia taking his warm-up tosses, and we'll take a look at the Tigers starting lineup put together by veteran manager Jim Leland. Austin Jackson in center field will lead off. Brennan Bosch in right field will bat second. Batting third, playing third, Miguel Cabrera. Prince Fielder cleans up. He's the first baseman. Andy Dirks in left field will bat fifth. Batting sixth and DHing Brad Eldred. Alex Avila will catch. He's going to bat seventh. Batting eighth and playing shortstop Johnny Peralta. And Ramon Santiago, the second baseman, will bat ninth. Let's take a look at the numbers on Freddie Garcia. The numbers are not pretty. 20 hits in 12 innings, 3 walks, so 23 base runners in 12 innings, about 2 per inning with 8 strikeouts, opponents hitting .385.
Yeah, numbers aren't lying. I mean, pitching for a spot, well, it is pretty obvious. I mean, he needs to put together a couple good starts to stop all the talking and all the stuff going on. He's adjusted the grip of his split finger. That's his most important pitch, so hopefully he's going to find control of that and keep them stranded. Last year, he was so good at getting out of jams with runners in scoring position. This year, not so good. Last couple games, runners 8 for 13 hitters, .615 average at knocking in runners. So he's getting into jams. He's not getting out of it. He's pitching up. And he's given up a lot of runs so far.
First pitch is a strike, and we are underway. Austin Jackson yesterday picked up 4 hits. He was 4 for 5. So set the table nicely. Count 1-1.
Austin Jackson, just one of those guys that even in batting practice you watch and just know that, you know, when you look at his age, how young he is, just how much talent he has, what a chance he has to be a, you know, an all-star center fielder here for the Detroit Tigers.
Also going to take a look at Freddie Garcia's fastball. He's not going to light it up like he used to with Seattle, but his last game, his fastball was about 85 miles an hour. If you're going to keep that pitch up in the zone, you're really going to get hit. Foul back.
It's 85, 86, and the thing about 85, 86 is it comes down to arm speed. And what happens is you also lose your split finger, your breaking ball. They're not as sharp. As soon as your velocity goes down on your fastball, you start to lose your other pitches. So it becomes important to see what happens here.
And he walks Austin Jackson. So why don't we take a look at the Yankee defense, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Jones, Granderson, and Swisher left to right in the outfield. Infield, Rodriguez, Nunez, Derek Jeter's the DH today. Cano and Teixeira third to first. Martin behind the plate, and the veteran Freddie Garcia is on the mound. The Tigers might be a little bit of a tonic for Garcia. He's 18-8 lifetime against the Tigers. Here's Brennan Bosch. Pitches low. Bosch 19 for 47. That's 407 against the Yankees lifetime. Gone off to a little bit of a slow start here, but boy, he's in a prime real estate position as a number 2 hitter in front of both Cabrera and Fielder.
He also had one of the players' like worst nightmare of when you have a great spring training and then you come into the season and you just don't feel the same. And all of a sudden, you're right, you're in a position in front of Prince Fielder and Cabrera that you're going to get pitches. He had a couple balls hard last night, and what an ideal place to hit. I think you could hit 300 in front of these guys.
Really?
Michael. Yeah.
Wow, that must be a great spot. The 1-0. Snap throw to first. Jackson's back.
Again, Freddie Garcia, he pitches to the aggressiveness of the hitters, but I mean, he's getting behind. He walks the first guy. Now he's in a 2-0 count. He just does not have those kind of pitches to pitch behind in the count. Needs to get ahead where he can get guys to chase that split finger, and so far has not done that.
The 2-0. Foul back.
And you almost hold your breath in those hitters' counts because that ball right there, he really got away with. I mean, just an absolute gutter ball for a hitter just to put good wood on it. Got fouled back. I feel fortunate if you're Freddie Garcia to get that ball back and still have an opportunity to throw a double play ball here. One of the big things, you look back at last year, what great control Freddie Garcia had. Didn't walk a lot of guys. I mean, he comes out with his first start. It was 5 wild pitches, and he just has not, had good feeling of his pitches and throwing strikes.
Runner goes. Pitch out. Throw to second. And it gets past Nunez. Rolls into center field.
Call interference there.
And Nunez was kind of
laying on him. He had a takedown back there.
Yep. So a stolen base.
He held him, and Russell Martin got a good pitch to throw on. The ball was in time, but it was up the line. As Nunez, it makes a tough thing to reach into the sliding runner. But he did get a good takedown here, Mike.
Tell you what, I know it was a tough play, Paul. That ball was perfectly thrown. He would have been out if Nunez caught it.
Yeah, I think the ball beat him again. Freddie Garcia, he held him well. Got a good outside fastball for Russell Martin to handle and to throw.
(3-1).
And one of the things, I was talking to Lloyd McClendon before the game, and a lot of their good at bats last night. They came into the series really not happy offensively. There's Lloyd. I played with him in Cincinnati, managed in Pittsburgh. He's been around the game a long time with Jim Leland, but a lot of their good at bats last night were just situational hitting, getting guys over, but they ended up being hits, getting guys in. Good night for him as a hitting coach.
Nunez trying to check back Jackson. And the 3-2. Strike 3. Bosch down looking, a 69-mile-an-hour pitch.
As a hitter, you're just not used to seeing this ball's up in the zone. Pretty good pitch to hit, but it's the first time he saw a curveball. That wasn't the split finger. You pick up the spin of it, it's a little bit different. You'll see him release it. Kind of a big, slow curveball. 3-2 pitch just fooled him.
Home plate umpire is Andy Fletcher. So here's Miguel Cabrera. And Martin wants to talk it over. Cabrera really hurts the Yankees. 41 for 110 against them, 373. And against Freddie Garcia, 9 for 23. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. Nice day, 58 degrees, 20% humidity, not much wind. And it is partly cloudy with a mild wind.
New scouting report for you. Mild wind.
Mild wind.
Yeah.
Not a mighty wind. A mild wind. There's a strike. Batters are laying off the first pitch from Freddie Garcia. The last 15 batters he's faced, they have not swung at the first pitch. What does that tell you, Paul? If you're not...
Well, as a hitter, as I look back, there were certain guys that I did not want to get in the hole against, guys that I thought that could strike me out, that had really, really good stuff. And Freddie Garcia is not at the time of his career where, you know, you mind getting behind in the count. He's not going to blow you away. It's more of just trying to fool you. So, you know, you kind of pick up his release points. You're more up to take pitches, try to get him in a hole where he has to throw that fastball. Again, I mean, you've seen 77, 76, 84. I mean, nothing over the mid-80s right now. And as a hitter, you really feel like you have a lot of time because you're used to seeing guys throwing 92, 93 where you have to make that decision really quick.
I guess 85, 86 is kind of the worst velocity you could have. 79, like Jamie Moyer, that's under hitting speed.
Well, 79 has been his breaking ball, and his, you know, his split finger, he takes a little bit off. There, that's 78. I mean, now this is where Cabrera to me gets dangerous because now he starts looking towards right field, and that's how you can really wait Freddie Garcia out. Again, last year we talked about it. He was so good at getting out of these situations, keeping runners from scoring. Last couple of games has been bad at, but he's had an opportunity. Got a big strikeout. Now he's got a tough hitter up there in Cabrera.
Check swing. Did he go? No. Said Rob Drake.
See that very often where Cabrera checked. He wanted to do it before the home umpire called it. You see, that's the split finger. You see that ball tumbling a little bit. Again, and when you get to that, you know, where you get in your head, you're going to wait and take that ball to right field. You'll lay off that pitch a lot more than if you're being aggressive early in the count. Another 3-2 count.
Strike three. Cabrera down looking.
Again, I think a lot of these hitters have that split finger fastball in their mind, and there's a kind of a slider still borderline up in the zone. Well, that's a split finger. Just didn't come down. And as a hitter, I tell you, you're frustrated because you see that ball so well and you just don't pull the trigger.
So Cabrera down for the second out. That'll bring up Prince Fielder. Pitch outside. Yesterday, Fielder was 2 for 4. And all 4 times he went to left field. 2 base hits and 2 fly balls to left, and then he walked in the 8th inning. Got off to a nice start here in the American League after playing in Milwaukee and becoming a free agent. Signed a 9-year deal with the Tigers. Why don't we check out the Home Depot hitter scouting report on Prince Fielder, Paul?
Well, I mean, live up to contract. There's always a lot of pressure on guys when they sign huge contracts, which he did. You said, Michael, 9 years, $214 million, and he's done well with it. He hasn't felt the pressure. He's here to protect Miguel Cabrera. There's no doubt about it. Motown roots. You look back, Cecil Fielder, ex-teammate, fun guy to play with. His father, obviously, and had his best years in Detroit. So Prince Fielder knows a lot about Motown. See that picture of him up on the scoreboard? Looks like he just got out of bed and he's happy. Kind of squinting.
Or he just signed that contract. They're going to intentionally walk him now on 3-0. So that puts runners on first and second for Andy Dirks. Now the Tigers today are not playing with just 24 men. They put Delman Young who was arrested on early Friday morning on a restricted list. And they called up Danny Worth, so they're at the full 25 again. Now, these are the spots last year where Freddie Garcia would just get tougher. With runners in scoring position, the opponent's at 193 against him. And right now they are 8 for 14 with runners in scoring position. 0-2.
Michael, you're right. I mean, you've seen no fastballs in the last couple counts. Everything's curveball, split fingered, 77, 76. Opportunity to pitch out of a big jam here.
Crowd looking for the strikeout. Fouls it back. You could see Martin's really trying to nurse him through every at bat.
Well, I mean, if you're thinking about it, he just does not have the stuff to blow somebody away. So you really have to think out counts, situations, and say he's really set up those breaking balls well to get strikeouts.
High fly ball, right field. Going back, Swisher on the track at the wall. See ya. 3-run home run for Dirks, and the Tigers on the board.
Michael, we talked about it. Even in an 0-2 count as a hitter, you know he's not going to blow you away. This ball kind of just a hanger right over the middle of the plate. And when you have this kind of stuff, I mean, there's a lot of pressure as a pitcher. You have to pitch perfect. This is one mistake. See, this split finger just sits right out over the middle of the plate. And in Yankee Stadium, those aren't singles. I tell you, talk about a difference in one swing. You're one pitch away from getting out of the inning with nothing, and all of a sudden you hang a split finger, and it's 3-0.
Let's check out the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast.
You see the split fingered grip. He'd like to hold on to it a little bit more. It comes in and it just hangs right over the middle of the plate. Dirk's good 2-strike swing. Got it out of here.
1-1. Popped up behind the plate and out of play. Hey, Freddie Garcia's been around a long time. He knows the urgency that is there for both he and Phil Hughes to pitch better. Andy Pettit is going to make another rehab start on Monday. And then maybe one more after that. One of those guys is going to have to leave the rotation. A 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. So he strikes out the side, but 3 runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left. Tigers 3 and the New York Yankees coming to bat. going to face. Yankee lineup presented by Lexus. The captain, the DH, Derek Jeter, leads off. Batting second, playing right field, Nick Swisher. Robinson Cano at second base will hit third. Cleaning up third baseman, Alex Rodriguez. Mark Teixeira, the first baseman, bats fifth. Batting sixth, playing center field, Curtis Granderson. Andrew Jones in left field will bat seventh. The number 8 hitter is the catcher, Russell Martin. Eduardo Nunez will play shortstop, and he will bat ninth. And now we take a look at Drew Smiley. 3 games, he doesn't have a record yet, but he has great numbers. 1.13, 16 innings, 16 hits, 6 walks, 15 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .262 against him.
Well, Drew Smiley scouted, but keeps smiling. I mean, in 3 starts, he's only given up 1 run in every start. And it's no coincidence. He's done this his whole minor league career, everything. He was a number 3 prospect coming into the season. Baseball America voted him. And he's a Razorback. Went to Arkansas, born in Arkansas. Just an Arkansas boy. But I'll tell you one thing. Tigers are high on him. He's done great things in spring training, kind of by default. He kind of walked in. Some guys didn't live up to what they were supposed to do, and he jumped right in.
Well, the Yankees now have to climb out of this 3-0 hole. And Derek Jeter will start it off. Derek scored the winning run yesterday, but he had his 15-game hitting streak snap. Jeter loves seeing a lefty on the mound. 17 for 28 with 2 homers against lefties this year. That's .607. Smiley deals. And a strike.
He's one of those lefties. His fastball, curveball, slider, change, got them all, but he will cut his fastball, so it kind of gives him another pitch. Not afraid to pitch inside.
Jeter hits a hot shot to Peralta. There's one away. Why don't we check out the Tigers defense, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Dirks, Jackson, and Bosch left to right in the outfield. Cabrera, Peralta, Santiago, and Fielder third to first. Avila behind the plate and Smiley on the mound.
Tell you what, if I was playing left field today, I would hope it's a better field to do. You remember some of the plays last night? Left field was a tough place last night.
Yeah, it's not pretty.
There were some misplayed balls. I don't know if it was the wind or whatever it was, but left field was a tough position last night.
Now the guy in left field right now is Andy Dirks, and he just hit a 3-run home run.
I was just going to say he's jumping in his shoes out there.
Now, are you thinking about that when you're standing out there?
I mean, you know where you are in the game, but you're thinking, you know, there's so much adrenaline in you right now. You feel so great about what happened, because if you think what happened, he was 0-2. He was 1 strike away from nothing, and you just think, some days are better than others, Michael. And you start this day off with a 3-run homer. You're in Yankee Stadium. Sunshine is beautiful.
The 0-1. 1-1 to Swisher.
Kind of like our days, Michael. You come to a good big league ball game, go to a good restaurant at night.
Not bad.
Some days are better than others.
That one is drilled deep to left field. Dirk's back on the track at the wall. See ya! Home run, Nick Swisher. Yankees on the board. 3-1 Detroit. Well, now Dirks knows the feeling.
Well, I tell you what, Nick Swisher, you were talking about numbers. He has not hit lefties well this year, and he had some good at-bats left-handed last night. Right-handed, he leads off today with a home run. A slurve or a cut fastball right into the hitting zone. Good way to start the game. So we got 2 guys so far in the lineup, Michael, that are just having a good day so far.
There's Robinson Cano against the young left-hander. Second-round draft pick in 2010 for the Tigers. Last year, their minor league pitcher of the year, 11-6, 2.07 in A and AA ball.
A lot of people learned about him as last year he went to Team USA, and he ended up beating Greece to a 6-inning pitch, and he beat Australia, and those are good situations where guys can watch how you pitch under pressure. kind of showed up on the map.
Hot shot into center field, and he hit it too hard as it stayed up there for Jackson for the second out.
I'll tell you what, if you're Robbie, you hit that ball right on the nose in the center fielder, the ball kind of knuckles when it's hit that hard. Fastball right there. Beautiful swing. Nothing else you could do. So Austin Jackson come in there, and you almost kind of fight the spin of that ball because it's hit so square that it kind of knuckles at you.
Here's A-Rod, and the first pitch is a strike.
Alex Rodriguez, probably one of his better games all year at the plate last night. Just started off, we talked about it in the pregame, off, with a ball off the end of the bat. It was really quick last night. Even the ball's inside. He cost himself a home run going to center field on a cold night, but he hit the ball well last night. Talk about Derek Jeter. Some numbers for you, Michael. How good Derek was against lefties, and Alex Rodriguez 1 for 19. I can't really explain that because other than he's only had 19 or 20 at bats against lefties, and I'm sure it'll even out at some point.
And the one hit was a home run, but still, it's not Alex Rodriguez. Alex not only hit last night, but he was traffic cop and coach. Jeter was going back to third. Alex waving him home, then fighting for position with Joe West, and then celebrates with Jeter as the Yankees win. Hey, by the way, it was scored a wild pitch immediately, and then afterward they changed it to a pass ball. So that has scored a pass ball, and Avila said after the game, I should have made that catch. It was a fastball that hit his glove.
Sure, it was catchable, but I mean, just a tough pitch. I mean, had a lot of movement. He was throwing 97. A lot of people don't understand that play. Derek Jeter, sometimes the angle that the ball ricochets off the catcher, you just don't see it. You're kind of blocked out by Alex Rodriguez.
And Alex Rodriguez looks at a called third strike for the final out of the first. But the Yankees chip away as Nick Swisher crushes one to left field. A home run for him, and it's 3-1 Tigers as we head to the second. Vote to 42951. Standard text messaging rates apply.
It's another one you can't get wrong, Michael. The yes or no.
It's just an opinion. Everybody has one.
20 years from now, will we be saying, hey, I remember we were broadcasting a game. Bryce Harper made his debut. Is he going to be that type of player? Is he going to be one of those guys that doesn't live up to what he's supposed to be?
He certainly, from everything that you hear from people, could be an outstanding player. But, health and luck and all that comes into play. Ooh. Avila wraps one to center field for a base hit. Take a look at some of the facts on Bryce Harper. Born in Vegas, best amateur baseball player in 2010, first overall pick Futures game selection, second best prospect in 2012 behind Matt Moore of the Rays. And he made the cover of Sports Illustrated in 2009, June 8th, 2009. I think he was 16 then. I didn't even have a subscription to SI when I was 16.
You know, you just start, it's like you start dreaming about what you're going to do in life when you're 16. You're not supposed to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated already, right?
Runner goes. Rounded foul. I also believe that Harper accelerated the whole experience so he could get drafted earlier. He was actually out of high school at 16.
Yeah, I did hear that too. You know, I tell you, one guy that probably loves to see Bryce Harper is Strasburg, because all the, you know, what he went through last year, I mean, he's the superstar. Now all that attention goes to somebody else, and Strasburg can just go out and pitch now.
And he's pitching today in Harper's debut. Looped out towards short, and Nunez makes the play. I wonder if he was thinking about dropping that ball.
You know what? It's
because the infield fly rule was not called.
One thing that he got jammed so bad, it's a tough play. It's a tough thing to do if you intentionally drop it and it bounces away from you, and they both then what happens, you know?
Because he was jammed, he didn't get out of the box.
Way in on his hands. You see right in on the label.
It's an easy double play. Again, you don't want to risk it, though, because it could bound away. Here's Santiago. Santiago came into the game late yesterday for defense. Rayburn started at second.
Yeah, Rayburn is the guy that Jim Leland said is going to get most of the playing time. It kind of tweaked his leg last night and just gave Santiago an opportunity to get in at second base.
One. Hammered to right field. And Nick Swisher makes the play.
Forget the feeling. It's kind of just a hitter's day. Seems like every ball is hit hard.
Follow the Yankees with the MLB.com @BAT12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at BAT to 31826 or visit Yankees.com for details. Here's Austin Jackson, walked and scored in the first.
Michael, you talked about Austin Jackson last night, and the one thing that, you know, he's a kind of a superstar in the making, a really, really good player. The one thing he has to do is cut down on strikeouts. He was second in the league last year. Especially as a leadoff hitter, you've got to be able to make contact, use your speed. And at this point, he's not a guy that, you know, you can live up to 181 strikeouts, because you're not going to hit 30 or 40 home runs.
And those other two guys, well, Adam Dunn had a bad year, but Mark Reynolds and Dunn, they hit the ball out. So you can almost trade it, but you don't trade it for, you know, a couple of home runs. Garcia already at 40 pitches. He has to really work hard for every single batter. Austin Jackson now is 6 for 7 in this series.
One thing, you look at Freddie Garcia's numbers and you know they have not been good. He has not. But the one thing, it's not like he's given up 5 or 6 runs in 6 or 7 innings. You know, he's pitched a couple innings, I mean, in Boston, I think through 1 2/3. The most he's gone all year is 5 innings. So that, over the long course of the season, you can't have, because your bullpen is just going to run out of gas.
Brennan Bosch swings and misses.
Yeah, and there's 3 starts I'm looking at here. First start, 4.2 innings. Second start, 5.2. And in Boston the other day was 1.2. So you just can't have your starting pitching doing that time and time again.
Hammered, fair, down the right field line, and it goes into the corner. Avila will score. Austin Jackson is being held up. Swisher got the ball in quickly, and Brennan Bosch has an RBI double, and the crowd is booing Freddie Garcia.
And this is what happens, and it's not going to get any easier. You've got Miguel Cabrera walking to the plate. You've got guys running to the on-deck circle. They can't wait to hit. Everybody up there is getting good swings, hitting the ball hard. And you see those pitches are just up with not enough movement downwards or even the breaking ball. He got away with a couple of them early for strikeouts that were up in the zone. Guys are starting to see the ball a lot better. Just everything together. A helpless feeling, Michael, to be out there as a pitcher and know that you have to make perfect pitches to get guys out, and you just don't have that ability right now.
And even if you make a pitch and hit your spot at 85, they could still get around to it.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to put it in play, but it's, I mean, hitting that perfect spot and making that mistake like he did on the 3-run homer, there's such a fine line. And, you know, if you had good stuff, you get away with some of the mistakes, so you just don't when you're throwing in the mid-80s.
Last year, he was around 87 to 89, which is fine, and might sound, what's the big, there is a difference between 85 and 88. Here's Cabrera with runners on second and third, and he wraps one to right field. Fair ball, it's trouble. It's a fair ball up against the wall. 2 more runs score. Cabrera will stop at first with a 2-run single. And the Tigers now lead 6-1.
Again, it's a second time through the lineup. These guys know that, you know, he's not going to throw the fastball by him. They're looking up in the zone, and everything is hanging. Joe Girardi's trying to do all he can to try to get him through, but you just cannot let him sit out there and get beat around like this. See, that ball just has nothing on it, just hanging there on the outside corner.
And they're calling that throw over to first base because all they're doing is giving Rapata more time to warm up. I'd be surprised if Garcia throws a pitch to fielder.
We might have to turn the volume down when he gets pulled out of this one, Michael.
It will not be pretty. Fans are running out of patience.
Have you ever seen that happen in New York, Mike?
No, this will be a first. And he keeps stepping off. So this is just a cat and mouse game for Rapata to get ready, and that's it. So a derisive cheer as Girardi will take out Freddie Garcia, and you can listen when Freddie Garcia departs unless Joe holds him there. Oh, we'll hear now. Girardi had to make the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T. And that call brings in Clay Rapata. Those are the numbers on Rapata, his 10th game. Now, we talk, Paul, all the time about how good the Yankee bullpen is. But you can't continue to get these kind of outings from your starters because you're going to grind your bullpen right into the ground if you do this.
Yeah, the Yankees bullpen is great when it's used the way Joe Girardi wants to use it, and that's in certain roles. And you don't have roles for guys to come in the second inning. But you know, you look at Freddie Garcia. Here's a guy that has had a 14-year career, has been a good pitcher, is not used to this. He's used to getting off some tough stuff. He's had some bad Aprils, but he's won 145 games in the major leagues. He's the all-time winning Venezuelan-born pitcher. So I mean, he's a proud guy. He's had great years. Very frustrating for him right now to know that he can't get it done.
And now the Yankees have to decide, can he ever get it done? Is this just a slow start, or is it time to pull the plug? That's a tough organizational decision. And if Andy Pettit's not ready, well, then what do? They keep running him out there?
I'll tell you one thing, they're not going to rush Andy Pettit. They'll wait till he's ready to come up here and give them a good 100 pitches or so. Because, you can spot start a guy if you have to here or there, but, you don't rush a guy back here that you have plans of being in, wanting top 3 pitchers.
The 1-2 outside, 2-2. 6-1 Tigers.
Such a difference when, if a young guy has an outing like Freddie Garcia where, he's nervous, he just can't get it done mentally. But Freddie Garcia knows how to pitch. He knows what kind of stuff he has. He just cannot physically get it done right now.
Line drive right at A-Rod. Boy, fielder takes that pitch the other way to left beautifully. So Rapata does the job, but Freddie Garcia did 3 more runs against Garcia. We played an inning and a half. It's Detroit 6 and New York 1. Giveaway when the Yankees take on the Rays. The first 18,000 guests in attendance are going to receive a Yankees garden gnome, courtesy of Scott's. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com. Visit the stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849.
What do you do with a garden gnome when you live in Manhattan, Mike?
You got to buy a house in the subs.
You just line them up in Central Park. There'll be garden gnomes all over the place.
Now, do you have a garden gnome in your home?
No, maybe I need one of those.
We'll get you one.
I got a little room for one.
Well, that's the last thing on Freddie Garcia's mind. He's probably thinking, what can I do? He's trying. As Paul said, a proud veteran. He doesn't want to go out there and have that happen to him. It's not a matter of trying harder. How does he make it work with an 85, 86 mile an hour fastball? So now the Yankees have a deeper hole from which to climb. As Smiley deals another strike to Teixeira, count 0-2.
It's funny though. You say, how do you make it work with an 85? And if everybody could figure that out, do you know how many more pitchers you'd have in the major leagues? People just don't get by at 80, 84, 85 miles an hour.
The bullpen has been great. Third in the American League. The starters, second to last. The bullpen is why the Yankees are 11-8. That one is drilled deep to left field. Giving chase is Dirks on the run, and he makes the play as he hits into the wall for the first out.
I talked about Dirks. He's off to a great start. 3-run homer. Left field's going to be his day. It's a good running catch over in the corner. What makes this a hard play is the ball's hooking away from you as a right-hander hit it, and you're in a visiting ballpark, so you really don't have your steps down. So you have to make up your mind, if I'm going for this ball, and if I hit the wall, I hit the wall. Much harder to do than it sounds. Good play.
Here's Granderson. Fouled it away. Smiley deals. 1-1. Granderson had 16 homers against lefties last year, and that led the major leagues.
We talked about 4 pitches. That pitch before was a curveball, kind of an up and down, and that was a slider. He's seen his fastball. Another slider.
It's popped up. Peralta will make the play. Well, Freddie Garcia came into the game with a 9.75 ERA. So after an inning and 2/3 and 6 earned runs, his average now is 12.51. Now, once the inning is over that you pitched it, you're allowed to go back into the clubhouse, and you can see Freddie still sitting there, kind of alone with his thoughts.
I hate to say it, but if you go inside from where he's sitting, you have to walk in front of everybody. You know, you almost wait for because you're almost embarrassed. You know, you feel like you've let your teammates down. You feel like you've let yourself down, and you almost wait to the middle of the inning where you don't have to, make eye contact with anybody.
Two and 0 on Andrew Jones, and Freddie staring into the outfield.
Bend down at that end of the dugout. That's a lonely place sometimes.
Breaking ball on 2-0. Laid it in there.
See Smiley, he doesn't have any problem throwing any of his pitches for strikes, and that in itself as a hitter, he'll use it any time in the count. Doesn't have to rely on his fastball to throw strikes. Remember, the Tigers are in trying to put an end to a losing streak, and they had a couple leads yesterday, so they need to try to bury the Yankees when they have a chance.
3 straight breaking balls when he's down 2-0. Well, Dirks had a big day so far. A 3-run home run, and now he took an extra base hit away from Mark Teixeira. 2 innings in the books, 6-1 Tigers. third inning. It's 6-1 Tigers, 3 in the first and 3 in the second. The Yankee run on Nick Swisher's home run. Freddie Garcia got 2 outs into the second inning. They took him out for Clay Rapata, and Clay's still in there. And he will face the lefty swinging Andy Dirks. Pitch outside.
Michael, between innings, we have to. I saw a little video of you. I was impressed. It was one of your better moments on TV. And plus, you had the Wild Wild West video vest on to go with it.
But that had never made the air. They were just showing you something that they.
Of course, they'd show me because I needed a little ammunition up there. Huh?
Count 3-0. Paul's just talking about a moment where I was a bit angered in the booth.
Is that what you were?
Yeah.
I thought you were having a good time up here. See, without volume, it's just all the actions, and that's what makes it good. It's a problem with television now. They have everything's on tape and stuff. They can bring it all back.
Yeah, that's the problem. There's a 3-0. I would have liked to have heard some sound with those altercations you had with the Gatorade.
No.
There's a ground ball to Cano. So they retired Dirks.
Remember when what was that, the movie Tom Cruise was in? On the island? He was on the island?
He was on the island.
Yeah,
Tom Hanks?
Alone. Yeah, Tom Hanks. Yeah.
Castaway.
Castaway, when he was like talking to the volleyball.
Wilson.
That was me with the guy. I was just having talks with the water cooler over there. Nothing personal.
Nothing. Broken back ground ball. Nunez gets Eldred for the second out.
Last night we talked about Eldred and his career, and he's been a minor league. I walked behind him in the tunnel coming through today. You see the size of this guy?
Big guy.
6'6", 270. Seriously, he looks like he should be in the NFL draft today or yesterday. Was it today?
It's today too.
Yeah.
Last couple of runs. He just dominated AAA pitching, and they brought him up 388, 13 homers, and 35 ribbies in 20 games. Avila lines one right at Nunez as Clay Rapata in inning. And that's one less inning that everybody else in the bullpen has to throw. Paul O'Neill with his buddy Wilson.
I'm talking to my cooler. So you're not listening. Turn his back on me.
Yes, it's brought to you in part by Pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org. Bottom of the third inning. Yankees trail 6-1 on the Lincoln scoreboard. We always hear you can't think about the 5 runs. You got to think about it one at a time. Easier said than done?
Not in the third inning, I don't think. I think that I mean, you look back at what has happened recently in the past couple of weeks. I mean, in Boston, you come back and throw up numbers like that. Last night, you're behind Verlander a couple of times. So when you have this much time, you score a couple runs, and the next thing you know, you're in the game. So. 7th, 8th, 9th inning, sure, it's going to be very tough. But with this much time left in the game in the Yankees offense, a lot of things can happen.
Well, that's the Yankee offense so far. Nick Swisher with a home run. And Russell Martin will lead off against Drew Smiley.
I'm telling you, Michael, don't go anywhere. You sit right here, do what you're supposed to do.
I agree.
See what happens.
Absolutely. The Yankee offense is explosive. We said the bullpen a big part of why they're 11-8. So is the offense. Popped up. Peralta makes the play. All you have to do is look at what happened in Boston last Saturday, a week ago today. Yankees put 2 7-run innings back-to-back against the Red Sox bullpen.
I got a friend at home who's he's a big Boston fan. He even has the Boston accent. I actually played golf with him. He sent me a text, and I hadn't seen the score. And it was cold and rainy, and he said, I'm sitting in front of the TV, and the Yankees just scored a couple touchdowns on me, and now we're losing. It broke his heart. But they're almost used to it, which is hilarious.
Foul back. Grounded foul.
Nunez, you could tell just how quick he is with the bat inside. He's going to be a good hitter. He's going to put up good numbers, be able to steal bases, score runs. And one minor problem: there's a Hall of Famer out there at shortstop.
Ball to Fielder. It's going to be a tough race to win. Smiley wins it. Head first slide by Nunez.
Speed puts so much pressure on the defense, and you look at that, just a little bobble, and the next thing you know, it's a bang play. But as a defensive player, it was much easier when guys kind of loafed down the line, even in right field, if they would take that courtesy turn. Guys that really busted it around the base makes you field the ball cleanly, and anytime you have a little bobble, they'll take advantage of it.
Here's Derek Jeter. Paul, it's discussed ad nauseum. Why do people slide into first base when it's faster to stand up?
We started that sentence, and I had no clue what you were talking about. But I watched. I do. I watched the same play, and I think the same thing, because I wasn't good at going head first, and it hurts looking at it. It looks like an injury waiting to happen. So many things can happen. You catch your thumb on the base or anything. It's just.
First of all, you put so much impact on your body, so boom, your chest is slamming down. And then your hand bangs up against the base, and it's been proven you don't get there faster. Now, if it's going to be a tag play, you could dive to avoid the tag.
Yeah, but that's so hard to adjust as quick as you have to at the end of the play. But it's just a reaction, and you're giving your all, and you just feel like if you dive, it might make it harder for the umpire if there's dust and stuff to make to see it as well. But it never worked for me. Too many guys get injured.
I've had people say if it was faster to get there diving, then why don't people that run the 100-yard dash dive at the end?
Well, it's asphalt, though. It'd be a tough race, wouldn't it? You wouldn't want to get to the finish line if you weren't winning.
Three and two.
You see Smiley at 93's got a good enough fastball to sneak it in there, and he's not afraid to pitch inside. He's throwing a lot of breaking balls. is not as afraid to come after hitters. A lot of problems with young pitchers when they come into Yankee Stadium. They pitch scared. They're afraid to throw strikes, and they dig themselves holes. He continually just goes after hitters.
Skied the other way and out of play.
Yeah, there's a 3-2 slider. Again, he just is not afraid to throw certain pitches in certain counts, can control them all.
Jeter battling.
See Derek kind of go out of the zone there. 3-2, probably ball 4. But, you know, as a hitter, you're aggressive, especially as well as Derek's been swinging the bat early in the year.
David Phelps will give the Yankees some innings and maybe audition at the same time. 3-2.
Pitch. Just missed. As you're throwing that bat as a hitter, you're kind of holding your breath and listening to see if that umpire agrees with you if it is ball 4.
I think Smiley thought he had it.
Sure he did. Got to remember that guy at the plate. Going to get the benefit of the doubt, and he should. I mean, he's earned that. He's done unbelievable things since he's been here with the Yankees.
Swing and a miss. That was Derek's 1,000th career walk.
That's a lot of walks. As aggressive as he is at the plate, I remember it was an old joke when Knobloch would lead off. Jeter was hitting second, I'd hit third. I would sprint from right field because I knew Knobloch and Jeter could be 2 pitches.
That one's drilled deep into left center. Going back is Dirks, and he makes the play. So Swisher hit it hard, but Dirks is having someday a home run and 2 nice plays in left field. Takes away an extra base hit and takes away a Yankee run. We've played 3. It's 6-1 Tigers. Quitline quiz. On the 1996 Yankees World Championship team, which player led the Yankees in batting that season? Minimum of 400 at-bats. Now you have to know this, Paul. You're on that team.
Let me go through the Rolodex up there.
Right, but don't guess out loud.
You remember in grade school you almost did things intentionally because the teacher would, I feel like if I throw a name out there, Bill Boland's just going to start screaming at me.
He would, you're right. Here's David Phelps, a starter by trade, working out of the Yankee bullpen in the early going. Kind of got hit harder than he normally does in Texas. One thing that impresses people is that he throws strikes. A lot of people on Twitter, Paul, are wondering what we did with John Flaherty, who was with us last night.
We sent him home. We didn't like the way he worked last night. We gave him a day off.
The 1-1. Well, John is with his family. His daughter Kristen is having her confirmation.
Big day.
John will be back with us tomorrow. So good luck to Kristen and congratulations. John and Olin, proud parents today. The 2-1. Ground ball is short, backhanded by Nunez, sets and fires. One away. Four o'clock seems like a weird start time. Yankees don't start many games Saturdays at 4, but the Fox window now on Saturday does occasionally move from 1 to 4 o'clock. So the Fox game was at 1. You can't put your game up against the Fox game. The Yankees start this game at 4.
I think Fox was scared of us, Michael.
In New York, maybe. The 0-1. 1-1.
Well, the writing's on the wall here. After Freddie Garcia's gotten off to this, the start that he's had, and then today's outing, and it's almost a given if Phelps throws the ball well, that's going to be the first postseason after the game question, wouldn't you think?
You would think so. The fans reacted negatively to the way Freddie pitched today. And Freddie didn't like the way he pitched today either. Won 12 games for the Yankees last year. They brought him back again, and they thought they'd get the same sort of pitcher, but the stuff is a little bit shorter than it was last year. So unless the Yankees come back, that's something that Joe will be asked about. Teixeira will take it himself. Beat Santiago to the bag, 2-away. So a lot of people will want to stick around for the post-game show, and Meredith Marakovich will ask all the questions, and Bob and Jack will break it down in the studio. But the story could change by the end.
Oh, absolutely. And David Phelps is no stranger to what's going on around here. I think that he realizes he has an opportunity. If he continues to put up some good numbers, he's going to have an opportunity to start a game or two. And it can happen. It can happen that quick.
Oh, and 2. This is what the Yankees like about him. He works quickly, throws strikes. He's about 91, 92. Sometimes he could get a little bit faster than that. And he doesn't seem like he rattles out there. Did he go? Yes, he did. So David Phelps with a 1-2-3 inning, and the Yankees finally retire Austin Jackson. So the Tigers go down in order. It'll be Cano, A-Rod, and Teixeira in the bottom of the inning. Quit line quiz. On the 96 Yankees World Championship team, which player led the Yankees in batting that season? Want to guess?
We play today, we win today?
Duncan? Mariano Duncan?
I'm saying Mariano Duncan.
Let's see. That's 2 in a row you've gotten. That's never happened in the history of you broadcasts.
See that? You got to ask me in the years that I have relevant. You know, that's still in my mind.
You pulled Denny McClain out of your hat. You weren't playing then.
Not too many people win 30-some games, you know.
Here's Robinson Cano against Drew Smiley.
Who were you throwing out there? Did you have a clue?
I didn't even think.
Really?
Because I was so wrong yesterday. Yes, I was wrong.
You were embarrassed?
I don't even want to take part in this anymore.
You just like take a week off once you get one wrong?
I might not ever guess again. Because what does it get you if you're right? It only gets you a heartache if you're wrong. And then because we guessed a little bit, you should have seen the hateful tweets yesterday. Hey, that's for the fans.
See, that's why I'm not going. I'm not going on. Twitter? I'm not going on Twitter. They send all the hate mail there, man. Can you imagine if you like pronounce somebody's name wrong or something? You just get berated.
I can more than imagine, Paul. The 0-2. Strike 3. Cano down looking. So what do you think about this young left-hander so far?
You know what? The thing that I have noticed is he's got good stuff, but he throws everything for strikes. In 3-2, we've seen curveballs. In fastball counts, we've seen fastballs. So he's not afraid to throw any pitch at any time, and he has control of the ball up. And, you know, as a hitter, you know if a guy's aggressive in the strike zone, it puts pressure on you to swing the bat because you don't want to hit with 2 strikes all the time.
There's a strike to A-Rod.
A lot on the inside corner. I'd be very surprised in these next 2 games if A-Rod sees a lot of pitches away.
Especially in this park, it just doesn't make sense to pitch him there.
Yeah, and you know he caught up to had really good swings last night, going to right center field, and you know he's one of those guys that if he doesn't have to, you know, do anything out of the ordinary, just make good solid contact, and he can hit the ball out. See those pitches away that are almost setting up for the strikes inside. And as a catcher, when a guy has this good a control, you can almost throw a setup pitch. And, you know, early in the game with Garcia, you know, Russell Martin didn't have that luxury where you can waste a pitch intentionally to set up another one because he wasn't throwing good enough strikes.
2 balls, 2 strikes on A-Rod. He struck out looking in the first inning.
Tough pitch.
94 he went to.
You know, as Alex Rodriguez, you see that you take your time and all those pitches are processing in your mind. You know, he's gone away, he's come in with a breaking ball, he's come in with a fastball, and all of a sudden, like I said, it's kind of confusing because he's used so many pitches in the count, but he's thrown them all for strikes. So it's, you know, as a hitter, if you're 3-2 and you've seen, you know, 2 changeups that weren't even close to the zone, at 3-2 you almost take that out of the mix because he can't get it over. But Smiley's been able to throw everything for a strike today. Another slider in.
Swing and a miss. So Alex strikes out for the 2nd time.
Again, these were set up by all the other pitches. This ball's out of the zone. 3-2. See him right on top of it. Spin. You see that dot in the eye of the baseball? That's where you, as a hitter, you pick it up and you think it's a good strike, and it just keeps diving out of the zone.
Foul back.
He's pitching exactly how Jim Leyland would want a guy with a 6-1 lead to pitch, and that's just going after hitters, throwing strikes. Again, there's a changeup away off the plate, but I think right now, you know, their game plan is to get out, to get these Yankee hitters out inside. Jim Leyland, and I noticed today, to his credit, I mean, here's a guy that has been through everything on the baseball field. World Championship in Miami, Pittsburgh, he's been to the playoffs. But you would notice no difference from him today than you were if they had won 10 games in a row. And that's the mark of a great manager, is when players don't feel any pressure. You know, they come into the game with losing 5 in a row. Jim Leyland knows this this team is going to win, and it's a matter of time. Now, he's not going to watch them go through the motions, but as long as these guys are playing hard, you won't notice, a personality change in the manager.
He also knows he has a little bit of a safety net because the American League Central is not the best division in this league, so they don't have to get off to a great start, and he's still going to make the playoffs. Fly ball, right field. Brennan Bosch is there, and Smiley works a 1-2-3 inning against the Yankees. We go to the fifth at the stadium. Brennan Bosch will lead off, then Cabrera and Fielder. So good for the Yankees as they're trailing 6-1, and Drew Smiley, the rookie left-hander, is pitching very well. Some news and notes from around the major leagues. The Angels released Bobby Abreu, and they called up the youngster Trout. Harper comes up, expected to make his major league debut tonight in L.A. Scott Harrison hit for the cycle last night, but the Mets ended up losing that game because, as you saw, the Rockies had an 11-run fifth inning.
Well, Michael, we did that Angels series when they opened up here, and, and I remember saying that this is going to be a problem because Bobby Abreu he just wasn't in the mix, but Mike Scioscia was trying to put him in the mix, and they were rotating guys. They just don't have enough. Yeah, they have too many outfielders to use that DH and sit guys out. Bobby Abreu, it was going to be a problem because he's used to playing every day.
And the way teams look at it, because we saw what the Tigers did with Brandon Inge. They owe him $5.5 million, and he just wasn't playing well for them. The Angels owe Abreu $9 million. Well, they got to pay that money anyway. So why hurt your team if you think it hurts your team? So it's dead money, whatever way you look at it. So they just decided our team would be better if we brought up Mike Trout, who's our top prospect, and we have to pay Bobby anyway, so we're going to release him. So that's how they make those decisions.
I mean, I remember in that series they had Torrey Hunter on the bench one day. You had Vernon Wells on the bench one day, who you're paying a fortune to. Those guys, you've got to make a decision as an organization who you're going to back. You backed a couple players and you let them play every day, and it just was not going to work out. All right, Michael, we're going to have a little tester. Bryce Harper, big day.
Right.
And we're going to check tomorrow because we're doing the game tomorrow.
Yep.
I'm saying 1 for 4, just an average opening day.
Really?
Yeah, 1 for 4.
I'm going to say, I think Billingsley is pitching. I'll say 2 for 4, and I think he's going to hit a home run.
Really?
Yeah.
2 for 4 with a home run. That's a big opening day. I'm saying that a little nervous, going to try to do a little too much, but he'll get a hit late in the game when he relaxes a little bit.
See, I don't know if nervous is in his DNA, because this guy's pretty cocky. He hit a home run in the minor leagues and blew a kiss at the pitcher.
Yeah, I remember that. That's not going to work, I'll tell you that.
Cabrera pops it up to right field. Swisher makes the catch for the first out. Let's take a look at what the Tigers did last year. They lost to the Rangers in the ALCS after beating the Yankees in the ALDS. Verlander won the Cy Young and the MVP. Cabrera continued his great offensive numbers. And Prince Fielder signed a 9-year deal after Victor Martinez got hurt, out for the year. And this is Jim Leyland in his 7th year managing the Tigers. And they are the favorite to win the Central.
You know, it's funny in sports. It's a lot of times, you know, in other sports, especially football, different teams every year, are going to the playoffs and stuff like that. And to me, the American League, you're going to see the same teams. You're going to have to go through Texas. You're going to have to go through Baltimore. You're going to have to go through Detroit, and the Yankees and the Rays, in my mind. So you're going to have the same teams that have been fighting it out for the past couple of years back in there again, unless some injuries or something happen. You agree?
I would agree. I think Toronto is going to be dangerous this year. I don't think there's anybody else in the Central but the Tigers, and you've got the Angels sputtering out of the gate, and Rangers, to me, look like the most complete team in baseball right now. They can hit, they can pitch, bullpen starters. If you look around all the contenders, some have 2 or 3 of those things. I think the Rangers are the only one have 3. That one's grounded to second. That should be 2, and it is. So a 4-6-3 double play as Phelps works another strong inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and because of the DP, nobody left on base. We're halfway through. Coming up for the Yankees, Curtis Granderson, as they try to get into that 6-1 lead. And this is the American League leaders in home runs. Hamilton with 9. Then you've got Napoli with 7. And 4 tied with 6. And Curtis Granderson, because he's a Yankee, we put him on the top of that list. It's not alphabetical. 2 Orioles on that list. Adam Jones and Matt Wieters.
Wieters really coming into his own. Mike Napoli from last year, huh?
Amazing. Would have been the MVP of the World Series if they won. Here's Granderson. And a strike.
I'll tell you what, Smiley looks awful comfortable out there with the lead. This is almost, it gets to like what he's doing almost like a spring training start. I mean, he's using every pitch he has and just continuing to throw strikes with it. It's not like it's hard for him right now.
Giving up one hit. That was the home run.
Just another kind of a slider, cut slider.
And when he came into spring training, although he was a highly thought of prospect, they never thought he was going to make the team. He pitched his way onto this team.
Yeah, there were some guys in spring training that just didn't quite live up to the billing, and he just simply took a job. And again, opened a lot of eyes last year in the Team USA.
You know, it's interesting because you always hear, well, when the Yankees face a pitcher for the first time, they always struggle. Well, it's kind of been a mixed bag this season. Yu Darvish did great against them, but they beat the Angels' Jerome Williams, and they beat Wei Yin Chen's debut for the Orioles, but it took 12 innings for them to do it. You know, just going back to even when you played with this team, it always seemed like a young kid that you've only seen on tape and you've read scouting reports. A team that's a veteran team doesn't do that well against those guys.
Yeah, I mean, veteran hitters really rely on past experiences on pitchers, and as a hitter, you remember how certain guys get you out, and if you don't have a scouting report, only goes so far. I mean, the velocity, the number, the type of breaking ball he throws, but until you've seen a guy, you really don't understand how he's trying to get you out. And like I said, if a kid comes in here intimidated and he won't throw strikes, the Yankees will kill him. But if they come in here and throw strikes, it can be a big advantage not having a past scouting report with a lot of veteran players. And
it doesn't matter if you know in the scouting report, oh, he's got a great curveball, unless you see the curveball.
Yeah, that was always the way I felt. Because, and another thing was, what was really weird is you would have such different numbers against. I used to tell Tino, I can't see this guy, and Tino would kill him. And Tino said, I can't see this guy, and I would see him well. So different pitchers are easier to hit for different players. It's a really weird thing.
Yankees still have plenty of time to get back in this. They're only down by 5 with an explosive offense, but they have to really start to get after Smiley. Here's Russell Martin with a runner on first. And the scouting report that both Paul and I got is the thing that makes him effective, he's not afraid to come inside. That doesn't mean throwing at the person. Some pitchers are afraid to go on the inside corner because if they miss a bit, that's the pitch that gets crushed. He has no fear about throwing the ball on the inside part of the plate.
For strikes is what you're talking about, yeah. Michael. Every pitcher will pitch inside if they have to, if the catcher calls it. But there's some guys that throw inside intentionally to try to set up the outside corner. And if you know they're never going to want to throw a strike in there, you take that out of the mix. But when there's a guy that wants to throw strikes inside, then that plate becomes real wide because you have to cover both corners.
Good breaking ball. And the pitch. 2-2. Two. High pop-up, right field.
This is trouble.
Fielder makes the play.
See the way Prince Fielder went at that ball and didn't think it was the ball. And Santiago easily could go over there and make an easier play because of the angle.
And the sun's trying to peek through, and I think that played a little bit of a role.
See right there at the end, you see 3 guys, not sure who's taking it. that, as you're running down the line, you see Russell Martin, and all of a sudden that plays in front of you. You think, that might fall in, and you get this real shot of hope, and then next thing you know, you're going to the dugout. That's why this game drives you nuts, Mike. When you got all these ups and downs, even running down the first baseline.
Just feeling different emotions.
Yeah.
Depression, elation, back to depression. Count 1-1. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Foul behind the plate, now to play.
It's fastball, and it actually continues to run inside. And as quick as Nunez is on the ball inside, when a guy gets in on him, you know that he's got good life on that fastball.
Strike 3. Nunez down looking. 2 strikeouts that inning for Smiley. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 man left. We go to the 6th. Tigers lead 6-1. Is Bryce Harper ready for the major leagues? You've been voting at 42951. Here's how you voted. Close.
Very close.
52% say no. The thought was that they would probably keep him in the minors until sometime in May to slow down his arbitration clock. But because of the injury to Zimmerman, they bring him up. And he's in the lineup today, batting 7th.
How's that going to sit?
Got to start somewhere. He is 19.
Here, he told me about his attitude. He might not play. I'm not batting 7. Remember, folks, 1 for 4 from me, 2 for 4 with a homer for Michael. We'll check in tomorrow in the pregame, all right?
Yes. Speaking of tomorrow, it's going to be CC Sabathia against Max Scherzer. Andy Dirks has had a good day. 3-run home run in the first. 2 nice catches in the outfield.
What's the news on Fister? I know he's injured.
He did a throw day the other day, and he's very close to coming back. Had a side muscle that was pulled in his first start. Such a great acquisition for the Tigers last year when they got him from Seattle. Strike 3. Dirks down looking. And Phelps pitching well. We mentioned the starting pitchers. Let's check out the stats. Brought to you by Verizon Fios. Welcome to America's fastest, most consistent, most reliable internet. Welcome to Life on Fios. Max Scherzer, who was so important to them in that series against the Yanks in the division series last year. Rocky start for him and Sabathia at 2-0, 5.27. We're on the air at noon with the BP show. 12:30 pregame. 105 first pitch. Fly ball to deep right.
Wow.
Swisher makes the play to retire Eldred. That ball kept carrying.
Last night, though, it was really dead. It was cold. I mean, the home runs, you really had to earn them. But you see this. I mean, the ball continues to carry. Wind not really blowing. It's just a good day to hit.
So 2 down. And that'll bring up Avila. So I asked you about Smiley. What do you think of the youngster Phelps? You've seen this is his 3rd inning.
Well, again, a lot of the same things about Smiley you say about Phelps. He throws strikes. He's not afraid to pitch ahead in counts. And, you know, that catches the eye of a manager and a pitching coach, that this guy has guts to throw strikes and trust that he can get outs. Nothing worse than seeing a guy out there just nibbling behind in all the counts. It's just scared to get hit. And, you know, you cannot pitch to good lineups that way.
Avila fouls it back. Singled in the 2nd and scored, then lined out to short in the 3rd.
Avila, another guy coming into this series, an all-star catcher last year, drove in 80-some runs, close to 20 home runs. He's off to kind of a slow start, hit the ball pretty hard today, got jammed there, but another guy that they expect to swing the bat much better than he has.
Well, Phelps has pitched 3 innings and faced the minimum 9 batters. That was an 8-pitch, 1-2-3 inning. Live Yes Network Yankees games on your PCs or laptops with Verizon Fios. Get a full season of live Yankees games on the go for just $49.99. If you're a Verizon Fios TV customer with Fios Internet, go to yesnetwork.com to get more information and subscribe now. He's all ready. He's got his water there. He's looking for a Yankee rally.
He's got some excitement in him. Look at that. Can't sit still. He wants some runs so bad.
So far, he's been a little disappointed as the Tigers lead this one 6-1. Top of the Yankee order. And Derek Jeter will start her off. Derek is 0 for 1 with a walk today. Yesterday, he had his 15-game hitting streak snapped. Grounded foul. All right, your 3rd time through. Are you feeling better about facing a young guy that you don't know, or are you still not there yet?
Well, I mean, he's got command of all of his pitches, and that's the thing. So it's not like you're going up there and like I keep saying, you know, you've taken a pitch out of the mix, because he's throwing everything for strikes. And, you know, Vila's done a great job of pitching guys in. And I think that's very important. If you're a pitcher that gets guys out in, then you're going to get away with some pitches, because guys start opening up, and you know, you'll get some misses out over the plate, and they'll miss it because they're opening up looking for that ball inside. Andy Pettit in his younger days used to just wear guys out inside, and it just made his sinker so good away.
Cody Epley up in the pen for the Yanks. Tigers 3 runs in the first, 3 runs in the second. Yankees just 1 hit, a home run by Nick Swisher in the first inning. 2 other base runners, Jeter walked and Andrew Jones walked. 6 strikeouts in 5 innings for Smiley. Jeter is 0 for his last 7, so his average has dipped to 395. Not too bad when you can dip to 395. Fights that off.
A lot of times, and you see Derek, he's gone for that ball up and in a lot, and that's just because you start feeling the pitcher's going to pitch you inside. You start opening up a little bit, and you start looking for that ball in, and strike or not, you start offering it.
Two. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. 7th strikeout for Smiley.
You know, the thing is, he does not look surprised at what's happening. It's not like he's hopping around out there thinking, you know, this is the best day of my life. I mean, looks like he almost expects to pitch this way, and that's such a good thing if you're on the Detroit Tigers side.
Well, he's pitched so well in his first 3 starts, 1.13 ERA. Over the last 100 seasons, only 1 pitcher posted an ERA over the first 3 starts of his major league career as low as Smiley's without winning any of those games. And it wasn't that long ago, Brian Dubois, another Tiger lefty, was 0-2 with a 0.95 in his first 3 starts. That one's popped up for the second out.
You know, it's so funny. If you look at a guy throwing the ball as well as Smiley is today, it almost looks like the Yankees are just flat today. Well, you know, it has a lot to do with that guy on the hill. I mean, if he's making his pitches and he's throwing strikes like he is today, it makes that offense just look dead because nothing's happening. Again, you see, I mean, inside to righties, inside to lefties, he has command of every pitch. Now he's throwing that inside fastball to Robbie for a strike. Now that's in the back of his mind for the rest of the count.
Luke Picconen and Joaquin Benoit, who we saw yesterday. Well, that sounded fast. Good acoustics out there.
Yeah, great sound effects today. Early in the game, the ball off the bat was cracking.
Fly ball, Dirks. And the Yankees go down in order again against Smiley. Nothing to smile about against this left-hander. Let's go to the 7th. 6-1 Tigers. local Nissan dealer. It's been mostly Tigers, 6-5-0, and the Yankees 1 hit. Nick Swisher's home run in the first inning. Freddie Garcia didn't have it today, really struggled, knocked out an inning and 2/3. Dirks a 3-run home run in the first inning. Cabrera a 2-run single in the second, and that was it for Freddie Garcia. So as bad as Garcia's day was, Smiley's has been pretty darn good. And he looks very calm and cool there, Paul. You said it's not like he's surprised that he's doing well. Yankees got what they wanted out of David Phelps, and now they'll go to Cody Epley. Got him off waivers from the Texas Rangers. This is his 4th game with the Yanks. And because Phelps pitched so well, that'll be something that Joe Girardi is going to be asked. Post-game news conference. Are you thinking about making a move? We find out now that Andy Pettitte will not pitch at AA or AAA on Monday. He is going to go to Tampa for weather. So that game will be at Dunedin, which is right across the water from Tampa. And it'll be against the Blue Jay farm team. Cadillac scoreboard 6-1. Tigers lead the Yanks. Epley deals outside. Kind of comes from the third base side. Not quite underhand. Kind of slingshots the ball. Breaking ball strike. You think it would be tough for him with that delivery to get out lefties?
Well, it usually is, because everything's kind of coming into you from the lefty. But, you know, that first pitch had a lot of sink on it. Depending on how much sink you can get on the ball, I mean, you're able to get lefties too. But you could look at the highlight reel and watch his delivery, and you know that's a guy coming out of the bullpen, because you don't see starters, you know, down low. These guys come in for specific reasons, to get out righties.
And that view gives you a little bit of an idea of what a righty feels like against Epley.
It's amazing to me when you watch a pitch up here on the screen. It's like you have so much time. If that plate, it's you don't have time. I mean, it just happens so quick. You see the seams, you make a decision immediately, and it's just a reaction, obviously. But up here like that, I mean, how could you swing at that pitch? I mean, the ball's inside, but when the ball's coming in the zone, you don't have that time like you do on the couch to make that decision.
Is your mind able to process, because it's kind of less than half a second, or is it total reaction?
Well, I think it is a reaction. You've trained yourself to see the ball in certain areas and know if it's a strike or a ball. And I mean, obviously, a big thought process behind it. See, Peralta lines another base hit to left field. I'll hold off at first, but it becomes a reaction. There's no doubt about it. I think the thought process is before the pitch comes. You know, the situation, what this guy does, what he has, and then you react to everything you've kind of put in your head. You see that way up on top. It's going to come around that ball. Throw a breaking ball there. You see the spin coming in, and that's what you see. It's a little bit faster, but that's the spin of the ball that you see as a hitter. And that ball kind of hangs out there. Peralta drives it to left field.
Bunted foul. The thing that I always remembered in talking to Wade Boggs, though, that he would talk about seeing a red dot, and if it had that sort of spin, it was a slider. So your mind is processing something. It's not just reacting, right?
Yeah, I mean, you get so accustomed to picking up the four-seamer, the two-seamer, the slider, and the breaking ball, and you do hit on the spin of the baseball. There's no doubt about it. There's no other way to track the baseball where it's going to end up or where it's going to go unless you pick up the spin. And that's why you talk about pitchers being deceptive. It's because you don't pick up the ball well out of their hands and you don't see the spin. And that's, in the old days, right when they came up with the split finger, was so hard because you could not pick up the spin, that you had the same arm speed, and it's like the ball slipped out of their hand. It looked like a fastball and the ball wasn't there. So it was like a total adjustment to learn that pitch as a hitter. Those guys in the bullpen sound like they throw really hard.
Yeah. Well, we were talking one of the games that Lou Piniella was doing, that Ted Williams said the hardest pitch that he had to hit was a slider.
Slider from a lefty? Had to be from the lefty, I think.
I
He
guess
was
so.
right on top of the plate. He was a pull hitter, so, you know, he kind of opened his hips up. He believed in, you know, really driving the ball with his hips, so the left-handed slider would be tough for him. Double play ball.
And they turn it.
How'd you like that, Michael? That might have been my first, like, play-by-play thing. Double play ball right here.
That was. I think I could leave the booth now.
I handed it right to you.
Yeah.
I didn't want to mess it up. I got halfway through it.
You know, now that I think about it, Lou might have said the slider was the toughest for him. I don't know if were they throwing the slider when Ted Williams played?
Well, you know, the difference between a slider and a curve is you just drop down a little bit. The old curveball was a straight up and down one, you know, the old Uncle Charlie, 12-6, whatever you want to call it. And the slider was just kind of a slurve. It was kind of a knockoff of a curveball, but you could throw it harder, which made it a little tougher to hit. And then Mariano's graduated it into a cutter. To me, a good changeup was a really, really hard pitch to hit, because a lot of times a good changeup had the same arm speed and it had the same spin if it was thrown right as a two-seam fastball, and it just, you know, was 5 or 6, 7, 8 miles an hour slower. So to me, a guy with a really good changeup was tough to hit.
Count 0-2 on Austin Jackson. 1 for 2 with a walk and 2 runs scored. 1-2. Top of the 7th inning, Tigers 6, Yankees 1. Rookie left-hander Drew Smiley has given up 1 hit to the Yankees.
Well, it made his day. Win or lose, that guy's happy going home. You know that? Run over, get a baseball. What are the odds of that, Michael? Look at all the people in the stands for a little guy to come to a game and go home with a game-used ball, huh?
The odds are not great.
I think I've asked you. I mean, you've been to tons of games as a little guy, right? Never got a ball?
Never got, well, I was sitting in the upper deck last row, so they didn't come up there.
You needed Mickey Mantle to hit one?
With a fungo bat. Fly ball to center, and Austin Jackson is retired. No runs a hit, no errors, and nobody left on base at the end of 6.5. Time for the 7th inning stretch here at the stadium. Yankees are trailing the Tigers 6-1, but we'll stay where we are to honor America with God Bless America.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise, offer a moment of silent prayer as we remember the servicemen and women who are serving our country at home and around the globe. Thank you. Now join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
To the
Smiley's lowering his ERA as well, 1.13 coming in. He's given up 1 run. So he's got a couple more innings to go, and they keep him in there. His pitch count is in pretty good shape. Young left-hander, second-round draft pick in 2010, 1 year in the minors, and here he is in the starting rotation, and the Cadillac scoreboard shows that he leads 6-1. So the Yankees running out of time to rally as they're down 6-1. Alex Rodriguez will start it off. And there's the Yankees' second base hit, their first one since the first inning. Now let's take a look at the Mazda pitch profile, some of the strikeouts of Drew Smiley.
See that slider down and in, slider away from a lefty, cutter in on the inside, another cutter.
And that might be it for Smiley, as Jim Leyland will come out, take the ball from his rookie. 93 pitches in. He gives them 6 strong innings, and he leaves with a runner on first base, nobody out. So Smiley jogs off. They'll go to the bullpen with Mark Teixeira due up. The official truck of the New York Yankees. Well, Drew Smiley couldn't go further than 6+ innings, but the 6+ innings were pretty impressive. 2 hits, 1 the home run by Swisher in the first, just walked 2, struck out 7. He threw 93 pitches, so he's looking for his first big league win if the bullpen could get 9 outs. Bullpen couldn't help Justin Verlander yesterday, so the Yankees will try to do some damage, starting with Phil Koch, who's on a relief of Smiley. So they go from one lefty to another.
Smiley's been very consistent, and imagine this: 4 games, 1 run every game. I mean, that's hard to do. You understand it for a game, maybe 2. All of a sudden, you start to think, you know, this guy really knows how to pitch and has good enough stuff to do it.
Pitch outside to Teixeira. Dribbled slowly back to Koch. They get the force at second. On to first. A nice scoop by Fielder to complete the double play.
So Phil Koch get off the mound. The important thing is the first throw. Gives you an opportunity. Prince Fielder makes a good play. Nice little pick.
They got the call right. First base umpire Rob Drake and Phil Koch.
You know, this is what I like right there. There's Miguel Cabrera. There's your team leader, not even involved in the play. Didn't feel anything but over there screaming and yelling. I mean, this team, you know, they're going to base their year around their big guys. Miguel Cabrera looks like he's here to play.
So a strike to Granderson. Curtis is 0 for 2 today. Popped to short and struck out. A mixed bag for the two other New York teams that are in the playoffs that played today. The Knicks got crushed by the Heat, and the Rangers won the first game of their best of 7. I believe it was 3-1 over the Capitals. That one is driven deep to right center field. Going back, Jackson. Track, wall, see ya. Into the Yankee bullpen. Granderson with a home run. It's 6-2 Tigers.
Smiley looking on intently, but it's really hard to see. I mean, do you remember when Curtis Granderson got here? There was questions, is he ever going to be able to hit left-handed pitching? And he has just learned to keep that shoulder in there. Led all of the American League against lefties last year as far as hitting home runs. Way back behind the ball.
16 homers against lefties last year. His first this year against lefties. Pitch is high.
Here we go again about the ups and downs of the game, Michael. You come in, you're Phil Koch. Your first pitch, you get a double play. You jump out on the mound, you got a lefty at the plate. Next pitch, you give up a home run.
Andrew Jones hits one into the hole, fielded by Peralta, and that will do it. But the Yankees creep closer. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left. Drew Smiley's day is over, but the Yankees and the Tigers soldier on. Fans interact with each other and the broadcast booth while watching the game. See what other fans are tweeting about and get up-to-the-minute scores and in-depth pitch-by-pitch stats, all at YesNetwork.com. Pretty cool. Sign up for that. As we go to the 8th inning, Cody Epley, his 2nd inning of work. Yankee bullpen has done a good job. Clay Rapata came on for an inning and a third of scoreless ball. David Phelps, 3 innings of scoreless ball. Cody Epley, an inning of scoreless ball. And the Yankee bullpen has had to pitch all of these innings because Freddie Garcia got knocked out with 2 outs in the 2nd inning. Swing and a miss by Bosch, and that puts a lot of pressure now on CC Sabathia, and this guy you want out there on the mound tomorrow, to give them a lot of innings. You cannot continue to ask your bullpen to put 7+ innings on the board. Hyundai scoreboard, 6-2 Tigers over the Yanks. That's why every single game is interconnected. You can't just bring everybody in that you want to get in. Sometimes you've got to lose a battle to win a war. And you also know that you've got your big guy out there tomorrow that does give you innings.
And you're hoping he backs up. He had a pretty good start in Texas. He really hasn't hit his stride yet. He's always been better when the summer gets hotter. But CC Sabathia is one of those guys that even when games that he struggles a little bit, he gives you 6 or 7 innings, and that's what you're looking for tomorrow. Not that he struggled, but you're looking for a good 7 innings from him.
Swing and a miss. Bosch down on strikes. Hey, you can vote along with us for today's Chevy Player of the Game. Text your vote to 42951, or you can vote online at yesnetwork.com. Here are today's candidates: Drew Smiley, Andy Dirks, Miguel Cabrera. Vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply.
It's a tough one today. Usually it's pretty obvious. Smiley had a great game. Dirks had a great game. It's got to be 1 or 2, right?
I would think so. I think you have to go with Smiley.
Pretty good.
But Yankees still have some time to change the narrative. Cabrera grounds it foul.
See, Epley has that ability to run that ball in on Cabrera. Cabrera's been able to hit the ball to right field most of this series, and he's so strong that he's effective. But Epley, with that sidearm delivery and that ball running back in on Cabrera, he has to pretty much change his game plan here.
This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. I guess they don't know the final score in Miami.
You're going to turn it inside out?
High fly ball, deep right center, and that ball is gone. An opposite field home run for Miguel Cabrera. Tigers now lead 7-2.
I'll tell you what, Michael, he is some kind of hitter, and I'll tell you one thing. Every once in a while, I think as a pitcher, you kind of overthink what you just did. He threw 2 great fastballs in on his hands, and he tried to trick him with a slider. And that slider, what it did, it got out over the middle of the plate, allowed him to hit the ball to right center. And I'm telling you what, this ballpark right here, this guy is dangerous. The ball at him, but it just stays right over the middle of the plate, and it's so hard. You see the reaction of the catcher. It's just right off the bat, you knew where that one was heading.
He has 7 home runs, Paul. 6 of them have come on the road. His ballpark is so big, Comerica Park, so he does his damage away from home.
And like I said, he threw 2 great pitches to get 0-2, and then he just left a slider right out over the plate. Really a good hitter. I mean, to tell you, even in batting practice, you can tell he knows how to hit. He has a great approach, and he is so strong that he doesn't have to try to pull anything. Talked about Prince Fielder and what a good start he got off to, and you look at his numbers, the only thing you look at is 2 home runs. You just hope that he doesn't get nervous to the point where he tries to start pulling balls and tries to start hitting home runs, because that'll take away some of those good at bats that we saw last night where he just drives runs in by hitting the ball to left field. He has so much power that he's going to hit his home runs, but it's so hard as a hitter when the guy before you is having such a great year. You try to live up to him.
There's a strike to Fielder. Hey, I misread the note, Paul. Cabrera has his 6 home runs at Comerica. That's the first one away. So he can even dominate that big ballpark. So my mistake there. He obviously has hit home runs in Detroit. First one away.
You saw that swing there. That's Prince Fielder where he's trying to pull the baseball. And obviously he's facing a righty that is going to have trouble getting him out. But everything was to left field. See this ball open, front hip open, looking to try to drive one out of here to right field. Such a different swing than we saw last night. But it's a true power swing there, isn't it?
And Fielder walks.
I don't want to make you nervous or anything, Michael, but I just got a text, and that was listen best.
Really?
Yeah, that's something.
Well, they
Don't
closed.
say anything wrong.
Did they close the Westchester Mall?
No, I think she hit it early or something. You She was actually city-bound today.
Wow.
Imagine a Ohio girl walking down Fifth Avenue. It's like Disneyland. You know?
She owns that place. The credit card that you held is now melted.
Does it worry you when you walk into stores that, like, high-end stores, and they greet her by name at the door?
That should worry you.
Does that mean something?
Yes, it means a lot. It means you have to do more games next year. Here's Andy Dirks. Grounded to Teixeira. He'll get the force, and that's all they'll get. She keeps walking down Madison Avenue. You'll be doing 100 games next year.
If you figure if she's going in there when I'm doing games, I might save money by not. Huh?
You know what? Yeah,
Cincinnati,
you're playing for the tie.
Ohio.
You're playing for the tie.
That's right. Yeah, Skyline Chili and stay at home at night. That's a pretty reasonable way to live.
And what was that ice cream in
Graders. How can you ever ask that again, huh? It's like the best in the world.
You got the first time I went to Cincinnati with you with that purple stuff you got me, purple ice cream.
Purple stuff.
What was it?
Yeah.
Blueberry?
Blackberry raspberry chip.
It was good.
Reds are actually coming to Yankee Stadium this year.
Are you doing that series?
No, no.
Really? That doesn't make sense.
Well, you know what? I've got a son getting married this summer. There's a few other things going on.
Popped up. How to play. (7-2) Tigers lead. Brett Gardner been doing some hitting. He's due to come off the DL with his elbow problem on May 3rd. Yankees are hoping that he can come off that day. And foul tip by Eldred, held onto by Martin, and that will do it. One more run, though, off the bat of Miguel Cabrera. One runner left. We go to the bottom of the 8th, and Russell Martin will lead it off. The season, including this tough week against Texas and the Tigers. Plus, Joe will answer your questions submitted on Facebook and Twitter. The Joe Girardi Show is new tomorrow at 5, right after the game, only on Yes. You're in town, Paul. You want to do that show?
Think I could get through one of those?
I think you could. Joe,
I know I could get through one of those right there.
And you have. All right, bottom of the 8th inning, new pitcher, Octavio Dotel. Hyundai scoreboard, 7-2 Tigers. Yankee offense, the long ball, solo shots, home run by Swisher in the first, home run by Granderson in the 7th.
If you weren't listening last night, we went over Octavio Dotel. 13 teams he's pitched for in the major leagues. It's amazing. Was that a record? Did we figure that out?
It is a record, yeah.
13 different teams. It's a lot of uniforms.
Popped up. Fielder. 1 out.
Tell me something now. Last night I walk in the hotel and you're on center stage.
Yep.
All right. So I'm thinking, when you do those shows, do you sit down, do you think about, write the questions, or does somebody help you with that? Is that all you?
No, me and my producer. They send me about, for each guest, 600, 700 pages of research that I read.
What?
So you got to know everything about the
guy.
And
you read it?
Yeah.
Kind of like the game notes up here. You read all that.
It's amazing. It's an amazing concept.
When I did that show, I guarantee you didn't get 600 pages of research. 1 or 2, maybe.
No, we had a lot of research on you, but I knew a lot about you because you had played for the Yankees.
Yeah.
But on John Cusack, I had to study up. Punch the other way and foul.
What's the number of? Hey, look at that. Now that's cool. See that?
They never go away. They're like antiques now.
They give them away. Those are the ones that didn't sell.
That must be a cool feeling.
How many guests have you had on that show?
165 now. Only one twice. Regis Philbin.
Regis.
Who was great. The 0-2. Foul back.
He's another guy. I mean, I've talked about players that, Don Mattingly comes to mind that you really have never heard a bad thing about from other players. Everybody respects him. Have you ever heard somebody say a bad thing about Regis Philbin?
No.
He's the greatest guy to just sit and talk to. He's just a good person.
The 0-2.
What's the schedule tonight, Michael? What do you got going?
Well, I have tickets to go see a Broadway show.
Yeah.
It starts at 8, so I don't know if I'll make it, but
they'll hold it up for you.
Right.
Broadway will be dark tonight till Michael shows up. They'll just shut her down till you walk in.
I don't think they will. They will hold it for 1 second. Two count on Eduardo Nunez is 0 for 2. Swing and a miss. Now 0 for 3. Hey, after the last out, catch the WB Mason postgame as Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry have highlights and analysis from this matchup and around baseball. Plus, Meredith Marakovitz gets the team's reaction from the clubhouse. It's the WB Mason postgame, and it's only on Yes. That'll bring up Derek Jeter. Derek's 0 for 2 with a walk. This game is so odd. You couldn't be hotter than Derek. 15 straight games he's hitting in, and now he's 0 for his last 6. Very humbling game. That's why if you are successful 3 out of 10 times, you're a star. He's a star.
Earlier in the game, Michael, we talked about how I used to talk to the water cooler. It was my friend down there.
Right.
Those other 7 times is where you become really close. You need somebody to talk to. Nobody wants to hear it. They're going through the same struggles as you are.
You can't call it your friend. How many times do you hit your friend?
Well, they always come back with a smile. Gino had a smile on that thing every day. Gino and Stevie was great. How many times you hit your friend? I still like my brothers. They used to give me a beating once in a while.
But did they like you? That was the key.
What?
Dotel really taking a long time between pitches. A cat and mouse game going on. And the pitch. Driven out to right field. Bosch in the corner near the line. Reaches.
Ouch.
Can't make the play.
That's that wall down there in the right field corner that does not give it all. It's a cement wall with a little padding. Toughest play in Yankee Stadium, new or old. There's no room down that right field line.
Yeah, you got padding, but behind the padding is cement. Cement doesn't give.
No, a lot of the walls, you know, are kind of give a little bit, and you'll see what gives here. That body will give. Ouch.
Yeah, the body gives, the concrete doesn't.
And the little karate chop from the Yankee fan there.
Count 1-2. We're in the bottom of the 8th, 7-2 Tigers. Closer Jose Valverde joins Joaquin Benoit. Jeter swings and misses, and that will do it. A 1-2-3 inning for Dotel. Well, we go to the 9th inning. Yankees trailing 7-2 here on Yes. Yes is brought to you in part by J&R Music and Computer World, by Acura Advance, and by Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the New York Yankees.
Folks, if you heard a little nervousness in Mike, we had a little fumble in the paperwork over there, Mike.
You know what? They wouldn't have picked it up until you pointed it out.
Just checking. I want to make sure everybody's really tuned in.
7-2 Tigers. Alex Avila against Epley, and there's a strike.
Well, Michael, I mean, if you look at the positives today, David Phelps, Epley, both have thrown the ball really well. The big question mark, obviously, is going to be the starting rotation, and there's no way around it. There's no way to sugarcoat it. Joe Girardi is going to have to answer questions on what he's going to do with the starting rotation. He's on, he's got a great team. There's no doubt about it. But so much is expected from the New York Yankees that you've got to have a starting rotation in mind that you want to go with. It's April. It's very close to May, but it is early. And you do have Andy Pettitte, who's going to be here in the middle of May.
Well, Phil Hughes has struggled. Garcia has struggled. It's been a mixed bag, obviously, for Hiroki Kuroda. 2 bad starts, 2 good starts. Nova has pitched okay. Didn't have great stuff yesterday, but didn't give it up. He's still 3-0. And you don't really expect problems from CeCe, who will pitch tomorrow, and he's 2-0.
I'm a big fan of that guy right there. I mean, he just knows how to win. Days that he doesn't have his good stuff, he doesn't lose. Days that he has his good stuff, he wins. So
Avila strikes out. It's part of the trials and tribulations of of a baseball season, it's really the greatest indicator of a great team. You can't hide over 162 games. Your weaknesses will be exposed. Your strengths will also be accentuated. It's just too long a season. That one is grounded to third. A-Rod across the diamond, and Peralta is retired.
You know, you got to know, as Joe Girardi, that some days the press conference after the game is just going to be something you don't want to talk about. And as a manager, the press want to know, and you don't have all the answers. You can't say, this is what I'm going to do next week. This is what I'm going to do. You know what you're going to do tomorrow. You're going to put CC Sabathia on the mound. But from there on, you have to start, sitting down with Larry Rothschild and then trying to figure out if it doesn't change what you do. And, hopefully it does.
Santiago grounds out to Cano, and that will do it. Tigers go down in order 1, 2, 3. Bottom of the ninth, coming up for the Yankees, it'll be Swisher, Cano, and A-Rod.
It really was a game changer. 3-run homer, and you see the reaction there. Freddie Garcia, they kind of just took the wind out of the sails from the Yankees. Started Andy Dirks on a great day.
An inning and 2/3 for Garcia. So the Yankee bullpen today pitched 7 1/3, 1 earned run and 2 hits. So they did their job. Now Jose Valverde will try to do his. This is not a save situation with a 5-run lead. You see his numbers, 4 out of 5 save opportunities converted. A lot of walks. So 14 base runners in 8 2/3 innings. He's not a Rivera type. He will make you get a little nervous. But he's got good stuff. Well, here's Nick Swisher. He had the only run against the rookie Drew Smiley. 1-out home run in the first. New right fielder is Don Kelly, taking over for Brennan Bosch.
We argued last night, and we can argue till the cows come home. You're never going to get a direct answer. And we even asked it on the trivia question whether Justin Verlander could win the Cy Young and the MVP. Was that right? And your argument was the Detroit Tigers would have never been in their position without Verlander.
Right.
Look what Valverde did last year. Would they have been in that situation without him? What, he had 49 for 49?
Well, I'll tell you what, though. the way I would look at most valuable, I think you can replace Valverde. Even if a guy, say 45 out of 49, I don't think there's a replacement that is equal to Verlander. I don't think anybody else could be a starter for them and have made them do that.
No.
But I think relief pitchers have always gotten short shrift for MVP. How is Mariano Rivera never won the most valuable player when he is clearly the most valuable player of this run?
The only thing about having a closer do it is you can see how a closer can dominate, and Mariano has in the postseason, because in short series, you know, when he was pitching 2 innings and making the games real short, over 162 games, you know, and you're talking about teams that win close to 100 games, you know, a closer, it's very hard to put a closer in the MVP voting. But, you know, we've seen how Mariano can dominate, you know, a postseason in a World Series. Agreed?
That's what Valverde has done the last 5. And last year he was 49 out of 49.
And then came out this year and blew the save the first outing. Really weird.
Now, Willie Hernandez won the MVP, Tiger pitcher, and Dennis Eckersley as well. The 2-2. Driven out deep to left field. Backing up Dirks on the track at the wall. See ya! Opposite field home run for Nick Swisher. He has 2 today. And now it's 7-3 Detroit.
You know, it's funny. Bernie Williams, I used to always ask him, because as a hitter that could not switch hit, it was very hard for understand somebody who could, and he said it was very hard to be locked in from both sides of the plate. Nick Swisher today has been locked in from both sides of the plate. Hit a ball right-handed, here's a ball left-handed. Great swings last night and tonight, both right-handed and left-handed.
That's Nick's 18th career multi-homer game. 1 righty, 1 lefty today. Pitch to Cano is low.
See that 4-fingered fastball, and he doesn't grip it till the end, or almost where he releases the ball. See the spin, that's just a straight 4-seam fastball. Went out harder than it came in.
Fly ball center field. Austin Jackson puts it away.
And offensively, you just see Robbie Cano. I mean, he has not got to the point where he's hot yet, and he's still, I mean, he's going to get there. It's just a waiting game. As a Yankee fan, as a broadcaster, as a teammate, anything, to wait when Robbie Cano gets hot, because it's fun to see.
Cano is 0 for 4 today. Here's Alex Rodriguez. Alex struck out against Valverde in the final game of the playoffs last year to end the season for the Yankees.
See so many times closers come in non-save opportunities and just, you know, you give up a home run, give up a couple hits, just for some reason don't have the same intensity as in a 1-run game. But you got to get them work. It's another thing that's so unbelievably good about Mariano is, you know, he cannot pitch for 5, 6, 7 days and come in and just be spot on control-wise.
One and two.
Good swing by Alex, and that ball's a little bit out over the plate. Those are the balls that he's really getting to. The ball's on the outer half. And you say, well, why would you ever throw him anything on the outer half? Pitchers, it again might look easy on TV. It's very hard to throw 3 consecutive pitches right on the inside corner. See, that ball was supposed to be in. It ended up away. I mean, pitchers, as good as they are with control, in a full count, you know, where you see 5 or 6 pitches, it's extremely hard to hit that catcher's glove every single pitch.
Boy, Valverde really takes a long time between pitches. And now the count 3-2. Talking about speeding up games, if you put a clock on Valverde, he'd have to pitch quicker than this.
Might have to get the Bigelow T weather out here again. He's trying to draw rain. Real slow delivery, slow walking around, slow getting into the pitch.
And he walks Alex Rodriguez.
Jim Leyland telling him to play behind the runner.
So here's Teixeira, who is 0 for 3. Fly to left, fly to right, wrapped into a 1-6-3 double play. Now 1-0. We told you Valverde makes it interesting. The 1-0. 2-0. That last pitch, before even having a conference, that last pitch he took about 32 seconds.
Allowed to do that?
Well, without anybody on base, you only have 12 seconds. So he was just completely obliterating 12 seconds. I don't know. One thing I've never understood: why is the rule in the book if it's not enforced? And if you're not throwing the ball within 12 seconds, it's supposed to be a ball. You can't do anything when there's a runner on base, though, because you could step off and throw over. Sure. But when there's no one on base, you should be able to enforce 12 seconds between pitches. The 2-0. Popped up. Fielder makes the play for the second out. Curious that you would swing on 2-0 when you're down by 4 runs?
Well, you definitely think about it. I mean, Mark Teixeira obviously is a home run hitter, a home run threat, but you're down 4 runs. You know, you need to try to get that tying run to the plate. If Valverde wants to walk the bases loaded, let him. And Joe Girardi, you know, he has a ton of veteran hitters that have a good idea how to hit. So he probably doesn't give the take sign a lot of times in those situations.
Here's Curtis Granderson. Alex Rodriguez will take off. There's a strike, and Alex takes second on defensive indifference. On deck for the Yankees is Raul Ibanez. He would pinch hit for Andrew Jones.
That's my first defensive indifference of the year.
Yep. First one for you. The 0-1. 1-1.
You can see Curtis Granderson even in the box. You're sitting there like, oh, are you ready? Let's go.
Leland doesn't care how long he takes, as long as he gets it done. He's 1 out away from getting it done. Now 1 strike away. He's pitching like a man who has absolutely nowhere to go.
He might be sitting next to you at the theater tonight, Michael.
At this
he
rate,
might not want to go. There's no leg room. He didn't want to go.
Foul back. Seven 7-3, Tigers lead the Yankees. Middle game of a 3-game set. Yankees won last night 7-6. So the Tigers looking to even this up. And then it'll be Scherzer against Sabathia tomorrow in the rubber game.
You know who's getting nervous right now? Frank and Mary getting nervous because I'm going to meet them for dinner. They want to know when to go, you know. Good pitch to lay off right there. That's a tough pitch. When you get out towards the end of the game and, you know, you've seen a couple fastballs, take something off of it. It's a good at bat by Curtis Granderson.
Rodriguez is on second, 2 men out. Yankees down by 4. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And the pitch. Looped into shallow left. That ball is going to find some grass. A base hit. Alex Rodriguez will score. RBI for Granderson. And now it's 7-4 Tigers.
You know, those are the at-bats you go home with as a player. That you know, he laid off a tough pitch. He gets jammed here, but it's a good enough swing to drive in another run. I always thought those at-bats at the end of the game kind of just went into tomorrow's game. If you battle, then you walk in tomorrow's game confident. There's Granderson saying, ouch. Once in a while when you get jammed, that bat really kind of bruises the inside of your hand.
Here's Raul Ibanez pinch hitting for Andrew Jones. Andrew was 0 for 2 with a walk today. Runner goes. A strike. Granderson takes second on defensive indifference.
You see Raul Ibanez all the way taken there, just hoping that he can get in a count where he could probably, you know, try to steal a walk and try to get that tying run to the plate.
The 0-1 inside 1-1. One more man gets on, and Eric Chavez on deck would come up as the tying run. Yankees down by 3. One and 2. Again, the Yanks down to their final strike, and Avila wants to talk with Valverde. Remember, tomorrow afternoon, the Yankees wrap up this series with the Tigers right here on Yes. Complete coverage starts at noon with outing batting practice today in the Tri-State 4 pregame. Then John Flaherty joins Paul and me in the booth for the call, only on Yes.
We're letting him back. We're inviting him back tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah. A 1-2 pitch. Foul back. Crowd of 44,686. was here at the stadium today. Some have headed home. But this game still somewhat in doubt. One more guy gets on. You have a chance to tie. When you're down 6-1, that's doing some heavy lifting. Ibanez pinch hitting for Andrew Jones. And Chavez waiting on deck. The 2-2. Base hit inside third. That will score Granderson. Ibanez going for two. The throw, not in time. A pinch hit RBI double for Ibanez. And the Yankees have pulled to within two.
Really hard to do. Walk off the bench. Get a good pinch hit. Good piece of hit. Ball running away. Slaps it the other way. Finds a hole. We talked last night when Ibanez was in left field. This is what he was brought over here to do. To pinch hit. To come off the bench at times. To DH at times. And that's what he does well.
Jeff Jones, the pitching coach, will try to settle down Valverde. Now the setup guy, Joaquin Benoit, gets up. Eric Chavez one swing away from tying this game.
You don't see that very often when you have a guy that has the success that Valverde has had. But Jim Leyland, I mean, you remember now the Detroit Tigers have lost 5 in a row. And all of a sudden, you know, the wheels start spinning and you start expecting bad things to happen. Who cares? We got to get this win.
Last Friday in Boston, Chavez with 2 home runs at Fenway. A strike. 0-1.
Very important if you're Eric Chavez. Obviously, you're a pinch hitter. You see you're down 2 runs with a man on, but you're there to try to get a hit. Your only option is not to hit a home run. And so try to keep this thing going, put more pressure on the Tigers to get that last out.
Went off speed there, and the count 0-2. Chavez 0 for 1 lifetime against Valverde. The 0-2. High fly ball. Right field in the corner. Kelly is there and makes the play for the final out of the game. So Valverde doesn't have much to celebrate. Just takes a huge sigh of relief.
A big sigh of relief because Eric Chavez had a pitch to hit. It was kind of a ball that was cutting in on him, but it was on the inner half of the plate, something that he almost got to. You see that ball just kind of sit there. Just missed it.
1 foot on the warning track for Kelly, 1 on the grass, and that is it. And Eric Chavez just missed. Stick around for the postgame show to find out who's today's Chevy player of the game. So Valverde made him sweat, but the Tigers end their 5-game losing streak. They even up this 3-game set. 1 game apiece. We'll come back. We'll wrap things up from the stadium right here on Yes.